Hi everybody, I'm going to start plowing today. So I got Justin this morning while he was still here to help me move some of my equipment around in my shed so I could get my plow out of here. So we're just getting the cultivator moved around. My plow is a two-way plow. It's a white horse, fairly new plow, I think 2-3 years old now. But I still have a few other things in our way. This is the tank that I used to flood the pond with that we're getting out of the way. And I have my motorized cart that's in the way that we don't have a tongue on right now, so luckily Justin's good and strong. He can hold the end of it up and I'll help push it out of the way after we get the evener off.
If you can lift this, is that heavy? No. I can just turn this tire and then we'll get that out of the way.
The cart you can see on several of my other videos that I've done.
Yeah.
So here we're putting the tongue back on the plow. I don't always take the tongue off, but it just gives me a lot more room in my shed to take it off, so that's what we did. It's a adjustable tongue, and when you have 3 horses, you have to have a longer tongue than when you have 2 horses, so you have to have it in the right spot. I should have marked it last year when I took it off, but I didn't, so we're just kind of guessing. This plow is very heavy, so I was holding the tongue and Justin was pushing on the back side to get it out far enough so that I could get the horses hitched up to it. So I took my 3-horse evener off the cart that's right next to us here, and we'll hitch this onto the plow.
Well, I'm certain I had it that way. I do have to do it. Good like that. Let's go.
Now all I have to do is grease it up and we'll be ready to go. In today's world, with most bearings just being greaseless, the Amish still like to have the grease fittings, and there's I think 24 or 25 different grease fittings on this tiny little plow. So after I get the evener on, I'm looking at this pole and realizing this is way too short. So I slide it out quite a ways to see what's going to work best for me. And I bring the horses over, start getting hitched up. I got my neck yoke hitched up and started hitching up the tugs, and realized pretty soon that this was too far out, so I had to bring it back some. You'll see there's 4 holes right there that we can see, and I think there might even be one more in there. So I just pull the pin and the tongue just slides right back, and I put it into the hole that I think will work. I start hitching Ken up and realize it's still too long, so I bring it back 1 more hole. And that's going to work for us. I'm hitching them in the 5th link, but as I get plowing, I actually shortened up to the 4th link. And I might even go back to the 3rd link. So when you're using 3 horses on 1 pole like I have here, your neck yoke is just hitched to the pole, which means it's just hitched the 2 horses, in this case on our left. That means Buck is not hitched at the front at all except for 2 of the other horses. So if he was to go way ahead of the other horses, the tongue would just come right up in the air. And if he lagged behind, the tongue goes down, it's not tight. So that's why it's important with 3 horses to be able to keep them fairly even right across, to keep the pole at the same height all the time, which is sometimes hard to do, but it's necessary. And so as I have them hitched up now, I'm just going to go ahead and lead Buck ahead because he's behind a little bit, just to see where it's going to be when he's even across and see what the height of my pole is. So I'm liking that for now, but like I said, later on I do shorten the tugs just a little bit more. So before I start plowing, I want to talk a little bit about the plows I've had in the past. This plow I have right now is an expensive plow, and it's a very good plow, but it surely is not something I started out with in farming, because it costs a lot of money. This plow right here is probably the plow I have plowed the most ground, without a doubt, with on this farm for the last 25 years. It's been a really good plow for me. It's a Massey Harris tractor drawn 2-bottom plow. But what I've done with this is I actually cut one of the beams right off. And before I show you that, this is what you pull to lift the plow up and down, just like any other tractor, the old tow type plows. But so what I've done is I've cut the beam off right here, and so instead of a 2-bottom plow, it's turned into a 1-bottom plow, which works good with 3 horses on the cart. And like I said, I've plowed hundreds of acres this way with this plow. I used to have a Massey Harris moldboard on, because that's what the plow was. And when I got it, I bought it out of Canada. But after a while, I decided I wanted something better, or thought I did, so I put on a brand new John Deere moldboard, and that's worked fine. Originally, it used to even have a little wheel for the furrow, which was really nice. But when you're starting out in farming, you can't buy brand new stuff all the time and expect to survive. So this is a plow I probably bought for 20 bucks, and I used it for over 20 years. And it's just a great plow. I've used it with all kinds of different horses. This is me with the 3 blacks. The 3rd black is actually Ken's brother, who died at a young age. But I plowed a lot of ground with those 3, and even with Lady in there, combinations, all kinds of combinations with different horses. I wish I had a picture for every horse I had in this plow. I know my father told me years ago that I should try to take a picture of every horse that I had. He said that's one thing he regretted doing. He had a lot of horses, and he wished he'd had a picture of all of them. This is a few years back with Buck and Ken plowing with a walking plow. I had a Amish guy work for me for quite a while, and this is Ben, and he wanted to use the walking plow for a while, so I said, well, let's do it. So we got set up, and he went to plowing with the walking plow. I personally like using a walking plow. I did years ago. I went to quite a few plowing contests with a walking plow, but the plow I have right now is a Pioneer walking plow, and it weighs like 250 pounds, so I told Ben, you can plow with that heavy old thing, but I'm not going to. My plows I used to plow with years ago were a lot lighter. For a little stretch of time, I had this sulky plow that I also bought out of Canada. It's a Massey Harris plow also. Great little plow, and I used it quite a lot. But with the rocks that I have, and I don't have a lot of rocks, but I do have rocks, I was just afraid I would break it. And I did bend the beam once, and we had to straighten it up. But also the chance of being thrown off those plows are fairly high. So I didn't use it for too long. So let's go way back in time. I believe this was in November in 1989. I went to Pennsylvania and bought a white horse plow from the Amish that is a hydraulic reset plow. And I had so many stones in Vermont, back where I was at the time, that I just wanted to get something that would handle those stones. And it did handle the stones. It was wonderful. Right here you can see I'm actually plowing with 4 horses because it took a lot of power to pull this plow. And it worked great, and I brought it up to New York when I moved up here, but then I sold it a few years later. We didn't have that many stones up here in New York, and of course we were just starting out and we're dead broke all the time, so we sold that and went to our $20 trailer plow. We actually had a few other plows during that time. We had another white horse plow a few years ago with just the 215, I believe the number was, and that was just a single bottom plow, and that was really nice. It pulled really easy. 2 horses could plow easily with that thing, whereas the one I have now, 3 horses work a little bit better. But anyways, let's get to plowing. This is our first furrow up through this field, and it has been harrowed this little stretch here, and if you've been watching my videos, you can see off to the left is where we have our new seeding, but there was a little bit left over from the fall plowing that is still there. So I have it all harrowed out, and that means it's kind of, there's just a tiny little bit of dirt here on the side, so I am plowing actually up through the, it looks like plowed ground, but it's not plowed ground, it's just dirt that's been pushed over there. So I'm actually got a can right on the edge of the dirt, and we're trying to make as straight of a furrow as we can. But it really wasn't that great of a straightness as far as the furrow goes, but we adjusted it a little bit as the day progressed and got it a little bit better. So the reason I really like this plow is because you can turn around and you're plowing with the furrow the same way, so you have no dead furrows. If you recall, if you've been watching my videos last fall, I was plowed this field and I ended up trying something different and going around the field, and I ended up with a big old dead furrow, which is something I've been trying to avoid, and that's why I bought this plow. So I don't think I'll do that again. But by doing it the way it's supposed to be done, there's no dead furrow and it makes it really nice. Abby, our daughter, came over for just a little while and got the drone in the air, so I thought I'd end this video showing you a little bit of shots with her running the drone.